I know you're familiar with Japanese muscle cars, but you will not believe your ears when I tell you that some of these cars are super rare. Yeah, and you won't believe the car that is the rarest on the list. Number 9. 1971 Mitsubishi Galant GTO. The Tokyo Motor Show was the venue for the 1969 debut of the Mitsubishi Galant GTO. American muscle cars like the Mustang, Cougar, and Firebird served as influence for Hyoki Kamisago, the designer in charge of the majority of the car's exterior and concept design. The longer bonnet, the rounder headlights and tail lamps, and the elevated ducktail rear end are all design cues that were inspired by the then-current muscle car aesthetic. Mitsubishi wanted to compete in rally events, thus these additions combined to create a rally car that was both quick and strong. Although the 1973 oil embargo, which also led to a decrease in Skyline production, caused the Grand Prix to be cancelled, it was still planned to compete in the JCCA Grand Prix circuit. Still, the GTO went on to win additional races, such as the World Rally Championship, the Southern Cross Rally, and the Japanese Alpine Rally. All in all, these three vehicles contributed to making Japan known for its somewhat sportier but no less potent muscle car. Three notable muscle car models in the history of muscle cars are the Mitsubishi Galant GTO, Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR, also known as Godzilla, and Toyota 2000 GT. Number 8. 1975 Toyota Celica GT. The development and rise in popularity of the small sporty coupe market was greatly aided by the Celica. Arriving in 1971 alongside the hugely successful Capri and Opel Manta, it made a name for itself fast with its signature Toyota features of high-quality build and materials, competitive price, and chic Japanese take on a little pony car. It was not as good in handling as the two Germans, but it kept getting better with each new upgrade. 1975 saw the arrival of the top model, a brand new 2.2-liter 20R SOHC 4 with a cross-flow head. Although the net horsepower rating only increased to 96 net, the torque curve became noticeably sharper. Its predecessor's time was reduced by nearly a full second, indicating an improvement in performance. These days, 12.6 seconds may seem incredibly sluggish, but everything is relative. As usual, the 5-speed gearbox received great reviews. Praise was also given to the standard excellent interior and other features. It's also important to note that, in contrast to its German rivals, these Celicas are still in frontline beater service on the streets. Number 7. 1972 Mazda Savanna RX-3 Coupe. In September 1971, the Mazda RX-3, referred to as Savanna in Japan, was introduced. It came with Mazda's revolutionary 10A rotary engine and was offered as a coupe or sedan. With 5,400 units sold in its first month, thanks to its sleek style, it became an instant favorite with regular enthusiasts among Japanese cars. After just a single year, Mazda improved the rotary engine to the 12A, enabling the RX-3 to rival the Nissan Skyline GTR in both on- and off-track performance. The RX-3 became a favorite among Japanese racing aficionados when it achieved an amazing 100 victories in Japanese touring car racing by 1976. The RX-3's eccentric rotary engine, created by Felix Wankel in 1951, is its primary distinguishing characteristic. These special engines are renowned for their ability to run smoothly across the rev range and to sit quite high in the RPM range. Moreover, they have a unique sound signature that was popularized by the well-known Mazda 787B Le Mans racing vehicle. The performance of the RX-3 is nimble and agile because of its lightweight powerhouse. Number 6. 1968 Isuzu 117 Coupe. The Isuzu 117 Coupe combined Italian flair with Japanese mechanical prowess to create the first automobile created wholly by a Japanese designer, Giorgetto Giugiaro. The Isuzu 117 Coupe became a popular vehicle and an early example of a Japanese classic despite its limited manufacturing run. To draw attention to the brand, Isuzu wanted a halo car, even though they had given up on passenger cars in favor of trucks and pickups in the late 1960s. They used their current rear-wheel drive passenger vehicle base and fitted it to a 1.6-liter and subsequently 2.0-liter four-cylinder engines to produce the Isuzu 117 Coupe. Giorgetto Giugiaro, a well-known Italian designer, was consulted by Isuzu to finish the design, and he gave them an exquisite and fashionable coupe. Number 5. 1971 Datsun Bluebird SSS Coupe. Similar to the US market-introduced 510s, this Japanese spec SSS Bluebird only came with the right-hand drive option and had a gorgeous, lower roofline. The Bluebird's rear window is positioned more flatly, and the taillight unit spans the whole width of the back panel as a single, continuous piece encircled by chrome trim. In terms of aesthetics, we actually like the 510 individual rear lamps without the center chrome trim and orange turn signals, but the Bluebird rear end is so uncommon in the USA that it has a unique vibe. The factory dull green paint and Pana Sports are two excellent characteristics. These are excellent engines, providing the strength and dependability that truly contributed to the early Datsun's ease of use. On this and other late engines, many Datsun builders install crazy turbo setups, but in the long run, this straightforward design will probably be more dependable and simpler to maintain. The shown camber plates are also a useful feature. Number 4. 1974 Toyota Corolla SR5. Toyota debuted the second-generation Corolla in 1970, and the SR5 specification is represented by this coupe model. A bigger, more powerful 1.6-liter engine was employed in the SR5. After the Volkswagen Beetle, the Corolla was by that point the second best-selling import vehicle in the United States. The Corolla, which had propelled Toyota to prominence both domestically and internationally, was viewed as a nice, reliable, entry-level economic vehicle in this country, akin to a VW Beetle constructed to 1970s rather than 1930s standards. Superb craftsmanship, trustworthy, uncomplicated, and devoid of any flair. Even now, it's still the standard option for buyers of tiny cars, and it's a big part of the reason Toyota has surpassed General Motors to become the biggest automaker in the world. Number 3. 1970 Datsun 240Z. Concerning the Datsun 240Z, what else needs to be mentioned that hasn't already been? When it debuted in 1970, safety rules had only begun to put domestic performance automobiles into a state of turmoil. This car was also known as the Fair Lady Z. The 240Z appeared out of nowhere, carrying a 2.4-liter SOHC straight-six engine that generated a powerful 151 horsepower, just as consumers were beginning to go elsewhere for their fix of automotive performance. It also didn't hurt that the 240Z stuck out from the pack because of its insanely gorgeous look, which made people think of those vintage exotic European automobiles. With its Aston Martin profile, Jaguar body, and Porsche headlights, the 240Z was an inexpensive performance vehicle that gave the impression of being much more expensive than it actually was. Like moths to a light, American automobile purchasers were drawn to the 240Z, and collectors and enthusiasts still find the Fair Lady to be a highly sought-after vehicle. Still, $35,000 sounds reasonable for a vehicle called the Japanese 911. It was a very popular automobile even if its manufacturing run was somewhat short. You won't have any trouble finding an excellent example as a result. Number 2. 1973 Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR. Nothing evokes swoons and extravagant gasp among enthusiasts of Japanese sports automobiles quite like the Nissan Skyline GTR. The original Skyline GTR had a more muscular American appearance than a sleek Japanese sports vehicle. However, a 2.0-liter six-cylinder engine with 160 horsepower, enough to turn heads back in the late 1960s, was hidden behind the squared lines and boxy face. Forever, the Nissan Skyline GTR stands as one of the finest automobile miracles ever made in Japan. The fact that it was never brought to America has increased its value and made it extremely sought after by auto enthusiasts worldwide. Remember, the Hakosuka must also be given its credit anytime we discuss the vehicle that is now known as Godzilla. Obtaining an authentic Nissan Hakosuka is difficult because the firm produced just 1,945 of them. There must undoubtedly be less original Hakosukas still alive. Hakosuka reproductions are easy to find if you don't mind spending more money on imitations. Number 1. 1967 Toyota 2000 GT. Similar to Honda, Toyota was not the same as it is now. The Japanese automobile giant used to be a little-known brand with aspirations of selling vehicles in tiny numbers in the United States. A Japanese sports coupe with an underappreciated six-cylinder engine, the 2000 GT, was one of its products. It was tiny yet sporty. Its introduction into other markets, the United States foremost among them, aided in Toyota's globalization. The six-cylinder Yamaha engine not only had an incredibly attractive appearance but also had remarkable performance and handling qualities similar to those of a race car. Toyota hit gold with the 2000 GT, and that's an understatement. While sales of the 2000 GT were not particularly strong in the United States, Toyota accomplished something far more significant than simply boosting its finances. It brought the car maker to a territory that would eventually grow to be its largest market globally. People, that's known as impact. With its jaw-dropping asking tag, the 2000 GT is rightfully referred to as Japan's first supercar. One of the rarest Toyotas ever produced cost more than $1 million to acquire. The most expensive JDM vehicle ever sold at auction was a 2000 GT tuned by Carroll Shelby, which drew a price of more than $2.5 million. What are your thoughts about the list? Let's have your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for staying through till the end. Be a legend. Hit the subscribe button and don't forget to watch our previous videos.